All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What's going on, everybody? We're back talking some baseball. Hope everybody out there had a good weekend. In a couple weeks, man, we'll be talking. It'll be Monday. Won't be talking baseball. We'll be talking a little football, a little NFL showdown. We'll be talking some baseball, too. We'll be giving you regular season shows all the way through the regular season. But, man, football coming up very quickly. Best ball time. Great time of the year, no doubt about that. Still grinding some winners, Nades. Bit prize pools still big out there in the MLB streets. 7 games, had 8 games. LA got postponed. Pretty interesting slate. I think people are spending down at pitching. If they spend up, there's really only one name, another day ending in Y when it comes to offenses. The Braves, the top team of the night, but they are expensive as always. So pretty fun slate. Hope everybody out there had a good weekend. How was your weekend, Nades? Love the Devontae in the background.
Yeah, no, weekend was good. Went to the Packer game on Saturday. Had some stuff going on Friday as well. A little Jelly Roll concert. My voice is still a little raspy from the Jelly Roll concert. I was 2 rows deep right by the stage. Absolutely incredible. I mean, that guy is changing lives out there with his music, with his speaking, everything. Absolutely incredible. It was awesome to see. Was hands down the best event, like I was saying on the Sunday show. Hands down the best event, including all the sporting events, everything I've gone to, just the experience, everything. So that was awesome. Went to the Packer game on Saturday. Had some good time on Sunday too. Just more relaxing. Did the show. Had a pretty good day in the MLB streets on Sunday. Made some good calls. Obviously, don't get everything right, but that's the nature of the beast here. But yeah, overall, it was a good weekend. Excited for football season. I know we're going to talk. You'll talk on the promo. But man, we got big things coming over here at SHIPIT Nation for NFL. It's going to be an incredible season. I had my best year of my DFS career last year, NFL season, and combined with NBA. And guess what? Well, you get both of those going on at the same time. It's an incredible time of the year, but hey, we still got baseball to grind. We've got a nice little 7-game slate here, and it's going to sound like a broken record for Nades again. I mean, it's the Atlanta Braves against a pretty brutal lefty here at home. Good hitting weather, incredible temperatures there in Atlanta, so should be a fun slate, and the pitching is an interesting one, so ready to dive in, ready to break it down with you.
Yeah, thanks for helping me out. Do my job right here. Blast Off Bundle came out 2 weeks ago for our NFL season. Can't beat this price in the industry. Projections, we got them. Ownership projections, we got them. Proprietary tools, core plays, slate plan, cash reports. We'll have shows, everything you need to be successful at NFL. $53 a month it comes out to. Next 6 months, $321. And that is including all the other sports going on. MLB, which is going on right now, goes into October. NBA will be here before we know it. Projections for that. Cannot wait for NBA season. MMA, of course. Shout out to GK. He had a big hit in the Discord. PGA, I saw a lot of screenshots. Best ball going on. No better time to join. Join us, shipitnation.com. Get in the Discord if you do join. Got to shout out our partners at drafters.com too. Really looks like it's going to overlay that $20 best ball 300K up top contest. We keep talking about it. If you don't have an account, no better time to get in there, get in some drafts. Use that promo code SHIPIT. They will match 100%. So you put in $100, they will give you $100 if you use that promo code. We'll say hi to a couple people in chat. As always, then we'll go pitching game by game, get you some winners on this 7-game slate. Richie Smalls, Hamwich, Nade, Brian Durkee, Peter C, Gator Nation, Bill B, Acaw, Kid Lynan, Butho Jenkins, Parabai, Jake's in here, Swaggy, P in here, Rybars, Tolga, Zimmerman. What's going on, Zim? Hope everybody out there having a good day. All we appreciate, all we ask from you on the show, like button, subscribe button, takes 2 seconds out of your day, helps us out a ton. That's enough of that. Let's talk some baseball. Let's talk pitchers. Like I said, I think the spend down build is going to be popular. I don't even know how to break it up in this range. I guess we'll just go 7.5K and up and then 7.5K and down. Really in this top range, Luis Castillo, the most expensive pitcher on the slate, 10.3K, gets a good matchup against the White Sox. Highest K prop on the slate, and that's 6.5, pretty much even money, a little juice on the over. If people spend up, I expect it to be him. There's Montgomery, Michael Wacha, James Paxton in this range, Tuki Tucson it ends with. I mean, I'm throwing away a lot of the Tuki Tucsons of the world, this Hatch, Windens, like throw away that 7K range right there for me. Montgomery feels overpriced. Michael Wacha feels overpriced. Luis Castillo is definitely my favorite in the top tier. Paxton has a tough matchup. There's only so many pitchers I'm playing today. Castillo is definitely one of my favorites. Then the other guys are really below this range. But I guess if I had to pick another one outside of Castillo, probably just go Michael Wacha in the pitching environment there in San Diego. But I think he's definitely overpriced. I mean, 4.5K prop. We're going to go guys 7K range that have a higher K prop. So really Luis Castillo or bust up here, unless you want to get different, is how I'm seeing it. What do you see 7.5K and above, mates?
Yeah, 7.5K and above. Really don't have I'm not playing Tuki Tucson. I actually like the Seattle Bats a little bit against him. I do think people are going to play Tucson. I'm seeing 15 to 20% ownership-ish, somewhere in that range. I'm out on that. Not going to play Paxton against Houston. Really no interest in him. I have two guys up at the top, and it's all the way. It's Castillo and it's Montgomery. Montgomery feels overpriced, but we said that last time too, and when he was 11K and still went out there and shoved against an Angels team at 11,000. He's had three pretty solid starts in a row. I think that could continue here against Arizona. I'm seeing right around 10% ownership on him. So if I'm up at this top, it's Castillo number one for me, far and away. He's going to get ownership, but he's not some clear chalk or anything, 20 to 25%, because, again, people want to spend up on Cardinals. They want to spend up on Braves. They want to spend up on these other offenses on the slate, Texas. So if you have the salary to get up Castillo, absolutely. But this confirmed lineup for the White Sox that they have actually is pretty low strikeout. I mean, there's three bats in there that are very strikeout heavy. Moncada, Colas, and Sosa, the 8-9 hitters down there at the bottom as well. Outside of that, 15%, 20%, 15% for majority of this lineup. So, Castillo at 10-3, I think personally I'm taking the route bats are going to win this slate. So I actually didn't play anyone up here at the top. If I had to pick, it'd be Castillo. And then if you had to grab another one, it'd be Montgomery for me. Really no interest in Wacha or any of these other guys in the middle here.
Yeah, we'll go right down below because I think a lot of the ownership is concentrated below the Tuki Tucsons of the world. If people spend up, it is going to be Luis Castillo. Good bat to spend for on this slate. But the mid-tier, so the guys that are going to get ownership, three guys. Paul Blackburn, I think it's probably going to be in this order. Paul Blackburn, Christian Javier, Drew Rom. Maybe Javier and Rom are switched. I wouldn't be surprised. But Blackburn at 7K, good matchup against KC. Javier against Boston, pretty tough matchup, but still a solid K prop. Small favorite there. And then Drew Rom, he's making his MLB debut, gets a great matchup against Pittsburgh, 4.5K prop, even money. Does have an extreme hitters umpire behind the disc, which you don't love to see. But, he looks like he's extended. If he's pitching well, he's 4K on a slate where Acuna is 6.8K. Like Tatis of the world, there's a lot of bats we do want to spend on. Pitching isn't good. This Rom guy stuff, he's over a K per inning guy. I looked into him a little bit. Like his numbers look solid. I don't know what to expect. We'll get to bats too. Rom's the guy. We talk about it a lot if you watch our shows here. There's certain pitchers that you can go both ways if you're playing 20 teams. I think Rom, you definitely could play for the price and spend up at bats, but I think he's going to get a good amount of ownership just because of the nature of the slate. I think the Pirates are really interesting too against him. So one of those where you can play him and fade the Pirates in some lineups, get different. I'll be touting the Pirates a little bit. Pretty good team total. Get a lot of leverage. They're cheap that way. But yeah, Rom, Blackburn, Javier, the three guys I think that get a lot of the ownership. How do you see this range? Anybody else you like?
Yeah, Javier, I'm out on Javier. Almost 60% fly ball rate over the last 30 days at both sides of the plate. This Boston team just doesn't strike out a ton either. Javier's strikeout rate has dropped big time as well. So I'm out on Javier. Paul Blackburn's chalk I'm willing to eat. Paul Blackburn's going to be 40-something% on probably, but, man, he gets this Kansas City team. Paul Blackburn's been very good, including a start in Coors Field, I'm pretty sure. 7K is just too cheap for him. So that's chalk I'm willing to eat. There's so many ways to get different. Like you said, play some Pirates, play someone else, play a mini stack. I like Seattle a little bit against Tucson, who's going to get some ownership. So There's different ways to play him, but yeah, I do like Paul Blackburn. He's not bulletproof by any means. I mean, that's why he's $7,000 for starters there. But I mean, he's still on Oakland. I mean, he's got Kansas City, pretty low team total there for Kansas City. Pretty good pitcher's park overall in Oakland. Kansas City, 25% K rate on the year against right-handed pitching, and Blackburn's been good. So I think that's chalk I'm willing to eat there just with the matchup. No interest in David Peterson against Atlanta. The only other guy I have interest down here is Drew Rom. I looked at his stuff. He's been very good. And if you guys watched last night, Dusty Dallas Keuchel took a perfect game into the 8th inning against the same Pirates team. Drew Rom, since he wasn't very good in Baltimore, I think he was with Baltimore. He came over in the Flaherty trade. He wasn't very good in Baltimore's farm system down there in AA, AAA. But since he came over in that trade, he made 2 starts for St. Louis, and he was lights out in those 2 starts. And you're going to give me him for $4K against a team that just almost got a perfect game thrown against them on a washed-up Dallas Keuchel, who we've stacked against since, another day ending in Y title. I'll take my chances at 4K because guess what? It allows me to spend up on the Braves, and it allows me to spend up on Texas, anyone. I mean, you can do anything you want with your roster construction. So I do like Drew Rom. I like Paul Blackburn. No interest in anyone else. It's a pretty tight pitching pool for me today.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of to answer this question, Brian in chat says, how do you play pitching on like 3 teams? So Nate, do you kind of play 1 team, sometimes 2 teams, up to 3 teams? My answer is it's definitely slate dependent. Like today, there's only like 4 pitchers that I think are really in play or that I really like. So I wouldn't mind if you like love Castillo or love Blackburn. If you lock them into all 3 of your teams, go about it that way. Whereas some slates, there's like 8, 9 viable pitchers. Is there any way you want to answer this question? It's a little broad and slate dependent for me, but that's kind of my thought process on it. What about you?
Yeah, Brian, today it's going to be more condensed. Like I said, I mean, up at the top, I could, across 3 teams today, I could really put Paul Blackburn probably on 2 out of the 3 I would put, Drew Rom and Castillo and Montgomery. Those 4 pitchers, I would rotate them, probably split the difference is kind of how I approach it, but it's pretty slate dependent. Sometimes pitching spread out. Sometimes I'll have in my 3 builds, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent, I'll have 6 different pitchers across my 3 teams. And then more condensed on the offenses. Maybe I really love one of the condensed offense spots, and I 5-man stack that team on all 3 of my teams, rotate the pitchers around and change the secondary. So tonight it's definitely more concentrated is kind of how it is. But yeah, it's really slate dependent. I apologize, couldn't give a more narrowed down answer, but it's just kind of roster construction. I look at ownership, I look at game theory, leverage, things like that on how I'm doing it, because I also play my single entry 3 max teams into bigger entry contests too. So I still want to build the best lineup to get to the top in every contest that I'm playing. So that's kind of how I approach it.
Good answer. Rank your top 4. We're going right back to you, Nate, that pitcher.
Yeah, Paul Blackburn number 1 for me, Castillo number 2, Drew Rom 3, and Jordan Montgomery 4 for me.
I have it Luis Castillo 1, Rom 2, Blackburn 3, and of course ownership's included in all this. Then probably Waka 4. I don't really love it, but probably would go Waka to be different. He's going to be very low owned in that upper tier. But yeah, very concentrated at pitching. We'll go game by game. Talking bats, though, ownership at bats, I think, are definitely more spread out than pitching. So let's go. Again, we appreciate that like button. Appreciate that subscribe button. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in, watching. August 21st. Baseball's a grind. There's no doubt about that. Football almost here. Basketball right around the corner, but still money to be made. First game of the night. St. Louis Cardinals, Pittsburgh Pirates, Drew Rom, Thomas Hatch on the mound. It looks like Hatch is only like a opener. Then it might be Falter. I don't even know. It sounds like it's going to be Falter. They haven't came out with anything definitive as far as I'm looking at it. Kind of a bullpen game. You might mix in an arm or 2 that go a couple innings. Cards have one of the higher team totals on the slate, above 5. Pirates about 4.8, 10 team total, 80+ degrees in Pittsburgh, so good hitting weather. And I like this game for sure. The Pirate side is really interesting because I mentioned just because of Jerom's price at 4K and the nature of this pitching slate, he's going to be 25, could even be 30% owned. I wouldn't be surprised. If that's the case, these Pirates, I'm good going right back to them. They're really cheap outside of like Brian Reynolds, the most expensive, 4.9K. man, ownership, you get leverage off of them. They're going to be low owned. They're cheap, decent team total. Just game theory wise, the Pirates make a lot of sense to me. I like these Cardinals, but I do like the Braves definitely a lot more. But yeah, Cardinals, I like the Padres more too. I mean, pretty much giving you a whole preview of how I'm looking at bats, but they come in third behind the Padres and the Braves for me. I like the Pirates side though. I think they're going to be under-owned and are interesting on this 7-game slate.
Yeah, I think so. I'm seeing 5 teams on the slate. Well, and the 6 would be Pittsburgh. 5 teams all projected to be 10% owned or higher as a stack, and then Pittsburgh is very, very close right behind. So people are still going, like you said, both sides. I mean, Rom's probably going to be 20-something% owned, but the Pirates bats are also going to be owned too. It's the same thing. I thought the same thing. Title, good flop leg spot, right? Dusty Dallas Keuchel. Pirates just failed his chalk yesterday. People are going to go right back to them. Against a pitcher making his major league first start here at 4K. So people are going to play both sides. But, man, looking at this Pirates confirmed lineup, the back half of that lineup is all 40% or higher in strikeouts. Endy Rodriguez, 45.5%. Pagura, 44%. Sawinski, 52%. 40% for Williams. Palacio is still 27%. So, really, there's four guys in this lineup that I would have interest in. It's the top 4 hitters. Brian Hayes, you can always play him, especially against a left-handed pitcher. He's 4-3. Brian Reynolds, McCutchen, Connor Joe. I really have zero interest in the back half of that lineup. That's why I like Drew Rom. I mean, I think there's a ton of strikeouts in that lineup. And, I mean, that's not just it's a pretty limited sample. I mean, 10, 14, 8 at-bats, 47 at-bats, 10 at-bats, but still 40+% K strikeouts. Drew Rom has some pretty good strikeout stuff. I'm off the Pirates here. I would only play maybe a one-off Brian Hayes. That's really the only interest I have there. And then the Cardinals, I'm seeing the Cardinals projected as the highest owned stack of the day. I like the Padres more. I like the Seattle more. I like the Braves more. So I'm a little bit under on the Cardinals, kind of in the same boat as you are here, Tito. But I do think Goldschmidt, Arenado, I mean, Jordan Walker is still cheap at 3,200, hitting in the heart of that order, 6-hole. So I do think they're fine, but they are going to be very high owned because and it's kind of a modified bullpen game, right? We don't really know what's coming in from the Pirates. So that's kind of what put the Cardinals down a little bit for me. It is projected to be Bailey Falter, but who knows? We've known how that's gone this season with these projected long relievers. So I'm under on the Cardinals, long way of saying kind of under on this game overall.
Yeah, I will say when I look into the Cardinals more, outside of Tommy Edman, Tyler O'Neill, and Wilson Contreras, I think the team's actually going to be pretty low owned. Those are definitely the 3 most popular. Goldie expensive, Arenado expensive. People go Braves or Tatis or something instead. Bottom of the order, a lot of gross names to click. So yeah, I mean, I think Cardinals fade one or two, even all 3. O'Neill, Arenado, Goldie, don't mind that one bit. And I'm definitely on board with the Pirates. I just think they're going to be lower owned than you do at the end of the day. If they are 10% owned, that's a little much for me, no doubt. I think probably half of that or something, get ownership leverage, 25-30%. Game theory play. But yeah, I like that game. Good hitting weather too. The first game of the night. Going to another game, very good hitting weather. New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, David Peterson, Allen Winans on the mound, 10.5 total, 90 degrees in Atlanta. Braves over 16 total in this one. Another day ending in Y, man. But hey, they do have a little cheaper bats at the bottom of the order. Vaughn Grissom is in the lineup in the 9 spot. Kevin Pillar, 2.4K in the 7-hole. Orlando Arcia, 4.1K. Ozuna, too, in the 5-hole, 4.5. So, 4 bats below 5K? Michael Harris, 2-hole, 4.82. Man, this Braves lineup is one of the cheapest we've ever seen, but obviously still the big bats are expensive. People are going to spend down at pitching, though, so it's not hard to get Acuna today. It is against these Braves lefties are interesting. David Peterson is a lefty, so the Olsons of the world, Michael Harris in the 2-hole might be a little lower owned because of that at the price. Get a little different that way, but Braves are going to be chalky, no doubt about that. Other teams will be mixed in here and there, but yeah, it's a good spot. What are you doing with these Braves?
Yeah, another day ending why I'm pushing the chips in on him. You can get up to Acuna. I like that. I do like Michael Harris. He's hit lefties, lefty, very good. I like Matt Olson, lefty. Sean Murphy. I love Sean Murphy here. At his price point, hitting in the 6-hole. I mean, the dude smashes left-handed pitching. Ozuna, I love him. And then my guy, Arcia. I love Arcia down there in the 8-hole because Vaughn Grissom's at the same position, much cheaper. So if people want to do a Braves and a Padres or Braves and a Texas, Maybe they throw in Von Grissom there to save some salary with the Braves stack. So I love Arcia. I mean, the dude last 30 days has a 375 ISO against left-handed pitching. Just hit a bomb yesterday, day before. He continues to go under-owned in Brave stacks because he's 4K plus hitting in the 8-hole, but I really don't care. So I love the Braves here. Another day ended in Y. David Peterson just has not been good, especially against righties. So power righties, I think, are going to smoke him here for sure. And the Braves got some very good ones there. So I love the Braves. And then on the Mets, I just can't get excited to play these Mets. I need to take a deeper look at Winans here. But Winans, in his 13 plate appearances over the last 30 days, has a 70% strikeout rate to the right side of the plate. So these Mets definitely played their lineup, though, to attack him. I mean, they only have one right-handed bat in this whole lineup, and it's Pete Alonso. So that's kind of why I was under on Winans a little bit, because if you look at Winans' numbers, he's got just a 15% strikeout rate to the left side of the plate, and that's in 32 plate appearances. So the Mets definitely know he's elite versus right-handed hitting, so they put their best righty in there in Pete Alonso and then loaded a bunch of lefties, 8 lefties around him. So that's kind of why I'm under on Winans. He is still 7,500, but I think as a pivot off of Blackburn, he still does have upside, so I wouldn't hate that. But not a ton of interest overall in these Mets personally, but I love the Brave side here.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to imagine pinch hit risk too with some of these guys, mainly at the bottom of the order. 8 of the 9 are lefties. You see a righty come in or a lefty come in. Some of these guys probably getting pinch hit for, so makes me like the Mets even less. Pete Alonso has absolutely been on fire. Win his numbers against righties, you mentioned, though. Pretty tough to stomach that one off, but man, he's absolutely seeing the ball really well. But yeah, no interest for the Mets for me. Definitely like the Braves. Just kind of look at how you are stacking them. I mean, each and every way is going to get some ownership, but Matt Olson against a lefty will be lower owned. Acuna is going to get ownership, maybe leave him off, mix in some of the guys at the bottom, get different at pitcher, play a Walker, Montgomery, something like that. But yeah, only team above 6 implied total on this slate. We'll keep it rolling. 7 games to talk about. Boston Red Sox, Houston Astros, James Paxton, Christian Javier on the mound. 9 total. Astros slightly higher team total than the Red Sox. 2 respectable arms on the mound. You picking on Paxton or Javier at all, Nades?
I don't mind going to some of these lefties because I mentioned it. Javier, 60% fly ball rate. Well, 55% to the left side of play, 50%, but still 50% fly ball rates here. Getting hit hard. I mean, his walk rate, double-digit walk rate, especially. I mean, he's 15% walk rate over the last 30 days, the left side of the plate. So I love these lefties here for Boston. I don't see any ownership going to them. And they're rolling out 5 lefties here, and their top 4 hitters are all left-handers. Verdugo, Devers, Yoshida, Cassis. I love all 3 of those. Reese McGuire, if you need a punt guy down there. Pablo Reyes has been really good too. Second base, shortstop eligible. He's cheap. So I actually think these Red Sox go overlooked here. And I've stacked against Javier quite a bit as of late. And I mean, his last 30-day numbers look pretty bad. I make the shark reference, a little blood in the water. It looks like blood in the water to me looking at his numbers. So I do like these Red Sox a little bit. They're kind of my contrarian lower owned team on this slate, I would say. And it's just a bet against fly balls. And Javier's, I mean, he's got a 20% K rate below league average over the last 30 days. So I think these Red Sox are interesting. On the Astros side, don't love picking on Paxton. I think I'd rather pick on Javier, Toussaint. There's much worse pitchers on the slate to pick on. I just didn't love Paxton's. I mean, he hasn't been great. He doesn't have a very good projection either. And I just like saving a little bit more salary. If I'm spending up, he's kind of in that no man's land is why I really didn't have any interest in him. So really not going to go to any of these Astros bats.
Yeah, good breakdown. So you talked me into the Red Sox a little bit because I think Javier gets a good amount of ownership. I think he's one of the top 4 highest owned pitchers on this slate, just the nature of this slate. So you get the leverage there. Kind of like how I was talking about the Pirates against Rom. I still do prefer the Pirates than the Red Sox if I have to pick, but you like in some of these Red Sox, like mixing them in as a mini stack with the Braves, or if you play Blackburn, Rom, something like that, mixing in a lone stack against a decently popular pitcher is a good way to get different on a slate like this. 7 games, not the 12, 14 games or ownership spread out completely. A lot of these teams you are able to just cross off are going to be very low owned. You still do have to think about getting a little different on a concentrated pitching slate. So Yeah, Red Sox are interesting. You talked me into a little bit, Nades. What was I going to say in chat? Paraby made a good point about Vaughn Grissom on FanDuel. He's min price over there, so good stuff there. And then Scary Creations, I see in chat. He did win the MMA. Hebrew Cheetah gave away 5 tickets, $1,000 we gave away last week. Scary Creations won the YouTube chat. 50 significant strikes, he guessed, and it was 42. So he already got paid. He contacted me. But Sean O'Malley, man, that was insane. Congrats to you, Scary Creations. Keeping it rolling. 3 games left on this slate. Again, we appreciate the like button. Appreciate the subscribe button. Everyone out there watching live, watching on playback. Helps us out a ton. Bring you shows every single day. Seattle Mariners, Chicago White Sox, Luis Castillo, Tuki Toussaint on the mound. 75 degrees in Chicago. You said you like these Mariners. Tell me why, and then any interest in the White Sox.
Yeah, I like some of these lefties here against Toussaint. I mean, just a 9% strikeout rate. Excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong stuff, but 19%. Excuse me. And he's gotten hit pretty hard, especially from the right side of the plate too. So Eugenio Suarez is cheap. Teo Hernandez is cheap. Julio Rodriguez, if you need to. I like these guys more as a mini stack though. Josh Rojas has been stealing bases left and right down there in the 9 hole. A little lefty. So I like these guys more as a mini stack. Not going to 5-man them. I just really never 5-man a team that is pretty strikeout happy just because it kills rallies pretty quick. When you get in there, guy strikes out, next guy hits a ground ball and double play, you're out of the inning and you just kill the rally there. So more as a mini stack. My favorites, Teo Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez. Josh Rojas, I think, is a fine punt second base option. Second base is pretty weak on this slate here. So he's got some stolen base upside there, 3,100 if he's in the lineup. So I don't mind these Mariners a little bit. And then zero interest in these White Sox against Castillo. Just way better spots to target on the slate.
I like it. Now we have 3 games left. I missed one down there. So still 3 games left. Lockstep in that one. I think the Mariners are fine, but I definitely like the Braves more. I like the Cardinals more. I definitely like the Pirates more too. And I like these Padres more later. So you guys got my favorite teams. Not 2 teams back here that I do have some interest in. Nothing in this game. Kansas City Royals, Oakland Athletics, going to be an opener, and then Alec Marsh, it looks like. Paul Blackburn on the other side for the A's. I don't think the Royals are the craziest thing. I'd rather play Pitt or I'd rather play Boston, though, against pitchers that are going to get some ownership. They won't be as high as Blackburn probably, but you still get enough leverage off of Javier or Rom. So not really much interest in the Royals. Not much interest in these A's either. 70 degrees only. Pitching weather. Sign me up for other games. X for me. What do you got?
Yeah, pretty much an X for me too. Obviously, Bobby Witt, you can always play him. I think he's a fine one-off, but man, he's 6,200. So DraftKings finally threw him up there into a tier where you really have to think about it. So don't love it, but he will go overlooked for sure, especially at that price point. It is still shortstop. If people spend up at shortstop, they're going to go to Corey Seager for a good reason. I mean, Corey Seager is feels like he's hitting in a home run derby every game right now. So don't love it. Pretty much a cross-off spot for me outside of Blackburn on the pitching end here.
2 games left, baby. 2 games left. If you do want to see Nate's core plays today, my core plays, slate plan, G Rising slate plan for FanDuel, cash report, as well as projections, ownership, stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings, bounce ideas off of us in Discord. Everything you need to be successful. Head over to SHIPITNation.com, blast off bundle. 3-2-1. The next 6 months takes you all the way through NFL season, NBA season, NHL season, MLB right now, best ball, MMA, PGA for one low price, $53 a month, $321 the next 6 months. Can't beat that deal. Ownership and projections, 2 things you need to succeed in this industry. We have, as well as proprietary tools, core plays, everything you need. Can't beat the deal. A great community in the Discord as well. Head over to SHIPITNation.com. You will not regret it. 2 games left, Nate. Texas Rangers, Arizona Diamondbacks, Jordan Montgomery, and again, another opener. Then it looks like the Sassoni guy coming out there, but mainly a bullpen game for the D-backs. These Rangers going to get some ownership. I think like the Padres, the Braves are higher owned now, though, and the top bats, the Semyons, Seagers, the Adolis Garcias, all are expensive, so maybe their ownership's down a little bit. Definitely going to get some ownership, though. How do they rank amongst the other teams for you, and then any interest in the D-backs.
Yeah, I like the Braves much more, but Texas is probably my second favorite here. I mean, the Sassoni guys has just been terrible in AAA. Looking at his numbers, Corey Seager, like I said, contending for one of the top bats on the slate, if not the top bat. I mean, 6,600. He's not the most expensive. Obviously, Acuna's more expensive. 345 ISO against right-handed pitching on the road this year, and the dude is absolutely just smashed righties all season long. He's locked in at the plate right now, so I love him. Nate Lowe's very good against righties. Dolis Garcia should be back in that lineup today. Mitch Garver. I mean, I love the full stack here as the Rangers. Like the full stack more than I do like picking off one-offs, unless it's Corey Seager. But I do love the full stack here. The Rangers guaranteed 9th inning at bats. And this Sassoni guy it has been horrible. So it's a bet on a pretty bad pitcher against one of the top offenses in baseball is the reason I like that. They're going to get ownership. I mean, like I said, there's 6 teams on the slate that are pretty much all going to take the majority of the ownership, 10 to 20% as total stack ownership, I would say. And Rangers are definitely one of them. But I do like them a little bit more than the Padres here, I think, just with the guaranteed 9th inning at bats and a worse pitcher here. So like the Rangers, my second favorite stack. No interest in these D-backs. I just don't think you need to go to them against Montgomery. Much worse pitchers on this little short slate here than to pick on a pitcher I do have interest in.
Okay, yeah, we kind of agree, kind of don't. You like them more than the Padres, you said. I'll touch on the Padres, Marlins Padres, Ryan Weathers, Michael Wacha, last game of the night. You think Sassoni's worse? I think Ryan Weathers is worse. His numbers this year have absolutely been awful, especially against righties. Ryan Weathers, he takes on his old friends too. Was a San Diego Padre at one time. Now on the other side of the diamond. I think the Padres feast on him. I don't love the weather, only 70 degrees in Petco Park. That's the only downside. Like, man, if they were playing in Truist Park or something like that, it was 90 degrees, would be my favorite stack of the night, but still think Weather's absolutely cheeks. You can always turn over this order. Definitely prefer the righties. Like if Garrett Cooper's in here, Bogarts, Machado, obviously Kim at the top, Tatis. I'd focus on the Machados, the Tatis, Kims of the world. Probably avoid the Sotos, the Grishams, but yeah, sign me up for these righties. I do like the Braves more. Padres number 2, Cardinals, Pirates 3, 4. Those are my stack rankings. You touch on this game, then give me your top 4 stacks on this slate.
Yeah, I like the Padres a little bit. Don't love it. I like Texas a little bit more.
Sony was scratched. Yeah, who's the long reliever in that game? Do you know for sure for the D-backs? It was going to be him. Now it's not Sony anymore. Is it just straight up bullpen?
Yeah, it might be straight up bullpen. I actually didn't see that.
Yeah, Joe. I think Joe's making it the opener, Manipuli or whatever, but he's not going to go more than he's only one inning each time. So after that, he got to 2 innings once actually, but after that, I don't think Joe's going to go too far. So if anyone in chat knows what they plan on doing after, let me know. But
I don't think anybody really. Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows what they're going to do. But it's still Texas. It's one of the best offenses in baseball. So guaranteed 9th inning at bats. Still have interest in them. Padres. I do like the Padres a little bit here too.
No Julio Rodriguez for your Mariners, by the way. Thanks, Jake.
Okay, Jake, I appreciate that. The one bat, I definitely prefer the righties. So Kim, Tatis, Machado, Xander, this Campusano guy at the catcher position, I think is a fine guy. But really, I think Juan Soto is the guy I would leave out here in this lineup if I'm stacking him. He just hasn't been great lefty. He is expensive as well. I'm going to get ownership because everyone that stacks the Padres, especially on this slate, you have salary to spend, right? Everyone hates looking at salary remaining and stuff like that. So they're going to click on 5,800 Juan Soto there, hitting in the heart of that lineup. I definitely prefer the righties. But like I said, Padres, I do like the Rangers more. I like the Braves more. But yeah, no interest for me either on the Marlins side against Wacha. Again, much worse pitchers to pick on. So my top stacks, I'll go Braves number 1. I will go Texas number 2 for me. I'll go Boston, preferably the lefties, number 3 as my contrarian stack, and then the Mariners will. Mariners and Padres, I would say, are tied for my other favorite.
I like it. Yeah, I gave mine Braves 1, Padres 2, Pirates 3, Cards 4. But yeah, so I was looking into all that stuff. So it's kind of what I thought. So Mantiply starting, but he's only going to go like an inning. max 2 innings. So that's why I didn't even mention him. Who knows what's going on? Like, Sony was the guy that people think is going to get the bulk of the innings as the long reliever. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It's more a bullpen game against the Rangers against the D-backs. So you can't play Manta play. You can't play Sony on any of that either. Maybe he gets in, maybe he doesn't. But yeah, bullpen game for the D-backs. The Rangers are picking on him. Thanks for all the help around here. D-backs, Manta doesn't know what they're doing. Izzy says, Sony bulk reliever pair by. Yeah, what I could find, who the heck knows what's going on in Arizona. But bullpen game is how we see it. Let's go low-ish owned pitcher, Nades. Man, I don't even know how we can do that. I guess I'd say Michael Wacha. And we're talking real low on him. He's only going to be like 5% or something. You don't got to go that low. But if you can't say Castillo, Blackburn, Javier, Rom or something, there's only so many ways to go. So I guess it'd be Wacha, but eating chalk at pitcher and bats is spread out. I don't think you're crazy if you just lock some of those guys in. What do you see, though?
Yeah, I'll go right there with you at the same price point. I'll go Jordan Montgomery there against the Arizona D-backs. So 2,900 guys. Both of those guys are going to get low owned up at the top. I think both of them have some upside. Preferably, I prefer to spend down because I'm playing the Braves. But if I had to choose a low owned guy with upside on the slate to match Castillo, it'd be Montgomery.
I like it. Nades, dong of the daytime before we get on out of here. Gotta have you go first so I can hear any flack if I get one and you don't, Nate. So what do you got?
Yeah, talked about this guy. He has absolutely murdered left-handed pitching. He's getting the ship right tonight. I'm going up to the 6th spot in the Braves order. The catcher, Sean Murphy, and then a little bonus one from my contrarian low-owned stack, Tristan Casas, hitting in the cleanup hole today against Christian Javier. Both of them going deep here.
There we go. Nade's giving out 2 right there. I'm going to go. I want to give a really low-owned one. Let's go a little Connor Joe action for the Pirates against Rom, who's going to get some ownership. Connor Joe in the 4th spot, 3.2K. Big odds there. Very low ownership. Get some leverage. Connor Joe takes Rom deep today. That's going to do it for us. Awesome stuff, as always, Nate. 7 games. Get in the Discord. Head over to SHIPITNation.com. Use that Blast-Off bundle, 321. Gets you to about $53 a month. Price is going up. September 11th, we'll go to $69 a month, $699 a year. No better time to join. Get a projections, ownership, all of our proprietary tools, Nade's DK Core play, my DK Core, everything you need. We'll see you in the Discord. We'll be back tomorrow, as always. For Nade's, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.